Hello and welcome. Today's lesson is entitled Writing Equations in Point-Slope Form. But before we begin, let's review a little bit about how to graph lines, okay? So in order to graph lines, we need to have the equation in slope-intercept form, which is this form right here, where y equals mx plus b. If you notice right here, this equation, the y is not alone on the left side of the equation, so first order of business is to get that y alone, so I'm going to do add 8x to both sides. So I'm going to cancel the 8x. I bring down the 6y. This is 12 plus 8x. Then we divide both sides by 6. Y equals 12 divided by 6 is 2. And then 8 divided by 6, put in the calculator. I get a decimal. So let's change back to a fraction by pressing math. Enter, enter. And we get 4/3. Now that the y is by itself on the left side of the equation, I'm ready to identify my slope and my y-intercept. Remember, slope is the number with x, so in this case, 4/3 have x. And the number without x is your y-intercept, so 2 is my y-intercept. Now that I have these two pieces of information, I can graph my line. Remember, I always start the y-intercept, so it's going to be a point on this line right here. Since it's positive, I go up 1, 2, and make my first point. Now I look at the slope. The slope is positive, so I'm going to go up, and I always go to the right first. So starting at that y-intercept, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. I try to go up again, but I can't, so that means I return to my starting point, which is the y-intercept, and now I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 3 to the left. 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Now that I completed both sides, I noticed that I made all these points, and these points look pretty straight, so that tells me that I'm in the right track. If your points are not forming a straight line, that means maybe you made a mistake somewhere, okay? You should also try to use your ID as a ruler to make a straight line, okay? If you need to stop the video to copy this part of the problem, go ahead and stop. I'll give you a few minutes and then we'll restart. So let's continue on. Here we have another equation. Remember, we're reviewing how to graph, and in order to graph, you need to have the y alone. The y is not alone on the left side of the equation because I have that 5. Also, this problem has parentheses. So first order business, let's get rid of those parentheses. So I'm going to have y plus 5. Then I'm going to multiply. Negative 4/3 times x is negative 4/3 x. Negative 4/3 times negative 3. So let's use the calculator here. Negative 4 over 3 times negative 3. I get positive 4. Is the y alone? No, it's not. So let's subtract 5 from both sides. So 5 cancels. Y is alone. I have negative 4/3. And then 4 minus 5 is negative 1. Now that the y is alone, I identify my slope, which is the number with x, in this case negative 4/3, and my b is negative 1. Now remember, you always start your graph at the y-intercept, which in this case is negative 1, and then look at the slope. The slope is negative, so I'm going to go down 4, and I always go to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Cannot go down anymore, so I go back to the starting point and I'll do the opposite. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. There we go. Up 4, left 3. And as you can see, we form a straight line, so we connect to form the line. And there we go. Okay? So here's a review of how to graph lines. We get the y alone, we can identify your slope, which is the number with x, and your y-intercept. So let's go on to today's topic, which is point slope form. Okay, it's going to be a new form or formula that we're going to learn today. We use this formula when we have a point and a slope, okay, in order to represent the line. So let's say I have this problem right here, where it says, write the equation of the line in point slope form of the line that passes through the point 3, -5, and has a slope of -4/3. So then write the equation in slope intercept form. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to label x1, y1, and the problem gave me the slope. I'm going to copy my formula, which is y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. Now that I have that, I am going to plug it in the information. Okay, I'm going to write y minus y1, I see is -5. My slope is -4/3. X minus x1 is 3. Now I see two negatives, so two negative becomes a positive. So I write y plus 5 equals -4/3 x minus 3. So that right there is my point slope form. Okay, the problem asked me to write the equation in point slope form, and this is what it is. The problem also asks us, once we have that, to write in slope intercept form. So we're going to move over here. Y plus 5 equals -4/3 x minus 3. Okay, and we're going to get the y alone because we want slope intercept form. So we're going to get rid of the parentheses. So it'll be y plus 5. -4/3 times x is -4/3 x. And we're going to multiply -4 divided by 3 times -3, and we get +4. So in order to get the y alone, I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides. 5 cancels, y is alone, -4/3 x minus 1. So this is the slope intercept form. So what we did, we found the equation in point slope form and slope intercept form of the line that has this slope -4/3 and goes through this point. Okay, in fact, if you notice right here, I actually graphed this equation right here. Yeah, and as you can see right here, this is the point that we found right here, 3, -5. But notice 1, 2, 3, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -5. So in other words, the point slope form allows me to find the equation of a line through a point if I have the slope. Okay, so let's look at another example here. So example number 2, write the equation of the line in point slope form of the line that passes through the point -4, 2, please, sorry for the typo there, and has a slope of 9/2. So here's my point, x1, y1. I want the point slope formula, so y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. So who's my y1 is 2, so y minus 2. Who's my slope? The problem told me 9/2. And then we'll have x minus x1 is -4. Notice there's one negative that comes from the formula, one negative, we'll plug it in x1. Two negatives becomes positive, so this would be y minus 2, 9/2, x plus 4. And there you go. This is my point slope formula or form. And I abbreviate point here using PT. Alright, next thing is we're going to find slope intercept form. So we're going to take this. I'm going to copy over here. and we're going to modify so that y is alone. In order to that, we're going to multiply. So this will be y minus 2. 9 over 2 times x is 9 over 2x. 9 over 2 times 4, let's use our calculator. 9 divided by 2 times 4 is 18. Is the y alone yet? No, it's not. We need to cancel the 2, so we're going to add 2 to both sides. Y equals 9 over 2x. 18 plus 2 is 20. So there you go. That's the equation of the slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form. Very good. Let's go on to the next problem. The graph represents a linear function. Write the point-slope form of the relationship using the points shown on the graph. So here I have a graph, and I want to find the point-slope form that represents this graph. Okay, and they want me to use this point right here. So let's identify this point. Here's my pencil. To get to that point, my x value is 1, 2, negative 2. My y value 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And because I went up, is positive 7. So my point is negative 2, 7. And the question is, what is my slope? Remember, to find slope, you find two good points, such as this one right here. This is not a good point. This is a good point. How much do I go down to get to the second point? Well, I go down 2. So that means my slope is rise is negative 2 and my run is 1. So now I have my slope. So y minus y1 is 7. My slope is negative 2. X minus negative 2. Remember, 2 negative becomes a positive. So my final answer is negative 2x plus 2. So here in this problem, they gave me a graph. I was able to identify the slope using rise over run. I identified the point, and then I built my equation right there. Okay, last problem. Let's say I have something in point-slope form, and I ask you to identify the point that this line is going through, represented on the point-slope form. So basically, what you do is, the point is right here, these numbers right there, okay? What you're going to do is, remember this is x, this is y. The x, all you have to do is take it out, but you change the sign. It becomes positive 7. And here, you take it out to 4, becomes positive 4. And what is the slope? The slope is that number right there, that fraction, 3 over 5. So, what we're doing here, we're able to recognize this is point-slope form, and we know that this is going to be the point that the line goes through. Okay, so let's take those numbers out. When I take it out, you change the sign. So the x becomes positive, and here the 3 becomes negative. And then my slope is that fraction right there, 7 over 9. So today, these are the lessons that we learned about. We learned about a new formula called the point-slope formula. This point-slope formula is important because whenever you have a point and the slope, you're able to find the equation of the line. Okay? So I hope that this video was helpful. Thank you very much for your time. Have a great day. Bye-bye.